Let's bring in Andrew Clennell, our political editor. Good to see you, Andrew, after so long. So we just heard from former Facebook executive there. This is the announcement by Michelle Rowland today. It's a step in the right direction. It's a long way to bring these tech cowboys into line, though, I would have thought.
It's always a difficult task, isn't it? So let's see how that works out.
Yeah. All right. You got any more detail on that?
No, I can't say I have.
Okay, good chat. Laura James over here. What else is shaking down today? You've been away a lot.
It's a cybersecurity strategy is out today. Clare O'Neil's announcing it mid-morning.
So this is different to Michelle Rowland's.
It is.
All right.
And
it's
it's $580 million, but I think $100 million of it was already in the budget. It's been much vaunted. And it seems a bit underwhelming. It's over 7 years. I think the fact Clare O'Neil's doing a presser on it and the Prime Minister isn't there, even though he's in Sydney today, says a bit. Look, the government's got some issues at the moment. They're doing all this rats and mice stuff, right? They come out with, they ordered all these reviews. They then announce what the review is, and then the thing disappears the next day. Where's the narrative? And I think the defeat of the voices, which sort of occupied the space for a lot of the time, has really shone a light on this. They've got some big issues coming into the end of the year. We'll get the cybersecurity strategy today. Looks a bit underwhelming. Then we'll get a migration strategy. Then we'll get the NDIS reforms. They better hope to do something properly there. And then, you know, they sort of limp to the end of the year, frankly.
You've got cost of living on top of that too.
Yeah, that's
with
right.
Michelle Bullock now suggesting that there could well be another rate rise.
Yes. Did you get the sense from her comments yesterday, though, not necessarily next month? That's
no, maybe
kind of
towards the start of next year. Yeah,
I guess it doesn't matter. We still cop it either way, don't we?
No,
but
for sure. But economists
it'd be a real shocker if it was next month.
Yeah, well, it's 5% at the moment. Economists have got a 5% chance of a rate rise next month, but it gets up there at March next year. But regardless, I mean, it was pretty worrying what she was saying. I mean, the fact that productivity is so flat. Wages are going up, but they're really going backwards because inflation's still too high.
How long do we have to listen to Jim Chalmers say, we're sorry Australians are under the pump before they do something?
It's the same line every time. But, it is a fine line, isn't it, though, because you feed too much money in the system, then inflation doesn't come down.
No, I appreciate the argument, but I would have thought that petrol is an area you could target because it hits a lot of price points. I don't think there's any doubt that one of the big things they want to take to the election, bearing in mind there are also stage 3 tax cuts next July, is the fact they have a surplus. And I think that is stopping. Because, I mean, it's a pretty big budget. You can choose where you spend and where you don't. Yep. Infrastructure's another funny one to cut, I think. I mean, who's to say that's going to have any effect on inflation? That's about preserving the budget surplus, which is a political thing to me.
Yeah, well, fires all over the place, which comes with the job of being the Prime Minister, I guess.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
Andrew, thank you. What are you finding today, Laura?
Oh, Anthony Albanese doesn't like being under pressure. And to Andrew's point here, housing is the number one issue. If, you're talking about cost of living, it's housing. And, what they need to do is something about migration. To be quite frank with you, businesses are still complaining about a massive skills shortage, yet we've had 500,000 people migrate to Australia in the last 12 months. And, we've still got another month and a bit to run on this year, and housing's going through the roof. That would tell you that we're getting migration, not feeling the skills shortage. That is diabolical, and that is something that government absolutely has control over. So I'll speak to Shane Hume about that. A few other things bouncing around. This heartbreaking letter from the South Australian Police Commissioner about his son yesterday, and it has sparked quite beautiful conversations and reactions and a real
I can't imagine how hard that would be. And the way he wrote that, with the stuff everywhere in his son's room, it was just really hard to read, actually, but very powerful.
Yeah, indeed it was.
Laura Jace, thank you. Andrew, thank you.